Losing interest is one of the most misunderstood experiences a person can go through. From the outside, it looks like withdrawal, boredom, or a lack of motivation. But on a deeper level, losing interest is often the very first signal that a rare soul is beginning to awaken. It does not mean you are giving up on life. It means life, as you once knew it, is no longer enough for the awareness that is emerging within you. At first, the change is subtle. You may still go through the motions of your daily routine, but something feels different beneath the surface. The excitement you once felt towards certain goals fades. Conversations that once energized you now feel repetitive or shallow. Social situations begin to feel draining rather than fulfilling. You may even lose interest in people you once felt deeply connected to. Not because you stopped caring, but because the connection no longer feels aligned with your inner truth. This can be frightening, especially in a world that equates passion with success and constant desire with happiness. You may start questioning yourself. You may wonder if something is wrong with you, or if you are becoming cold, detached, or ungrateful. But this stage is not about becoming less alive. It is about becoming more aware. Your soul is slowly pulling your attention away from external stimulation and turning it inward. When awakening begins, your inner compass starts recalibrating. The things that once motivated you were often shaped by conditioning, comparison, and the need for validation. As awareness grows, those motivations lose their power. You no longer feel satisfied chasing goals that impress others, but leave you empty inside. You no longer feel energized by distractions that temporarily numb you but offer no lasting meaning. This loss of interest is not emptiness, it is honesty. Many people never reach this stage because it requires courage to sit with the discomfort it brings. Losing interest creates a void, a quiet space where old identities dissolve. The ego resists this phase because it thrives on attachment and familiarity. It wants to cling to what is known, even if it no longer serves you. But the soul knows that growth requires letting go. This is why losing interest often comes with solitude. You may find yourself pulling back, needing more silence, more time alone, more space to think and feel. This is not isolation, it is integration. Your awareness is expanding and your inner world needs room to reorganize itself. You are beginning to sense that your energy is sacred and you are no longer willing to waste it on what feels false or draining. Losing interest is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of alignment. Before something real can enter your life, what is unreal must fall away. Before deeper passion can arise, surface-level desires must dissolve. If you are experiencing this shift, understand this clearly. You are not losing life. You are shedding illusions. And that is the first sign that a rare awakening is already underway. As the awakening deepens, losing interest begins to move beyond external activities and into the emotional and psychological layers of your life. You may notice that drama no longer excites you. Conflict feels unnecessary. Arguments that once pulled you in now feel exhausting rather than stimulating. This is not because you have become passive, but because your nervous system is learning peace. Your soul is quietly rejecting chaos as a form of entertainment. During this phase, you may feel disconnected from the collective rhythm of society, while others seem intensely focused on competition, status, gossip, or constant stimulation. You feel like you are observing from a distance. This can create a sense of being out of place, even among people you love. Conversations may feel predictable. Social rituals may seem empty. You begin to notice how much of human interaction is driven by fear, insecurity, or the need to be seen. This awareness can feel lonely. When interest fades, meaning has not yet fully arrived. You are in a transition space where the old no longer resonates, but the new has not yet revealed itself. Many people mistake this phase for depression or emotional numbness. But there is a crucial difference. Depression drains energy without insight. Awakening strips illusion while sharpening perception. Even in moments of emptiness, there is a quiet clarity forming beneath the surface. You may also notice a shift in how you relate to pleasure. Things that once gave instant gratification begin to feel hollow. Excessive consumption, whether of entertainment, substances, or attention, loses its appeal. Your body and mind are learning to distinguish between pleasure and fulfillment. Pleasure excites the senses temporarily. Fulfillment nourishes something deeper. As your awareness grows, superficial pleasures can no longer satisfy the deeper hunger of your soul. At this stage, many people experience guilt. You may feel guilty for pulling away, for saying no, for not showing the same enthusiasm you once did. You may worry that you are becoming selfish or ungrateful. In truth, you are becoming discerning. You are learning that not everything deserves your energy. Awakening teaches you that attention is power, and where you place it shapes your inner world. This is also when emotional honesty becomes unavoidable. You may find it harder to pretend, to smile when you feel empty, or to engage in roles that no longer fit. Masks become heavy. Performing becomes exhausting. The soul demands authenticity, even when it disrupts comfort. This is why relationships often change during this phase. Some connections deepen through honesty. Others naturally fade because they were built on versions of you that no longer exist. Losing interest during awakening is a form of purification. It clears space for values that are aligned with truth rather than habit. It simplifies your inner world so that something real can grow. Though this phase feels uncertain, it is purposeful. You are not becoming detached from life. You are detaching from what distracts you from your essence. And in that detachment, a deeper connection is quietly being prepared. As the awakening reaches a deeper layer, losing interest begins to reveal its true purpose. What once felt like emptiness slowly transforms into spaciousness. The silence that initially seemed uncomfortable starts to feel intentional. You begin to realize that this loss of interest was never meant to leave you with nothing. It was meant to remove the noise so you could finally hear yourself. At this stage, your relationship with time changes. You are no longer in a constant rush to fill every moment with activity or distraction. Stillness becomes tolerable, then comforting, and eventually necessary. You may find yourself drawn to simple experiences, walking without a destination, sitting in silence, observing your thoughts without reacting to them. These moments are not boring, they are grounding. They reconnect you with a part of yourself that existed long before expectations shaped your identity. This is also when intuition becomes clearer. As external desires fade, inner signals grow stronger. You start sensing what feels right and what feels wrong without needing logical explanations. Your body reacts before your mind does. Certain environments drain you instantly, while others feel nourishing without effort. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is awareness refining itself. You are learning to trust subtle cues instead of loud impulses. Many people fear this phase because it feels like standing in between worlds. The old motivations are gone, but new passions have not fully formed. Yet this in-between state is sacred. It is where alignment is recalibrated. The soul does not rush this process. It knows that rushing would only recreate old patterns with new names. True awakening requires patience, and patience requires space. You may notice that your values are shifting. Success no longer feels tied to achievement alone. Productivity loses its grip on your self-worth. You start measuring life by depth rather than speed. Presence begins to matter more than progress. This shift can make you feel invisible in a world that rewards constant output. But internally, something is stabilizing. You are no longer chasing meaning. You are allowing meaning to emerge. During this phase, creative energy often goes dormant before it returns stronger. This is not stagnation. It is incubation. Just as nature pauses before transformation, your inner world is reorganizing itself. Old ambitions dissolve so that purpose can arise from authenticity rather than pressure. When inspiration returns, it will feel quieter but more sustainable, less frantic, more rooted. This stage also teaches surrender. You learn to stop forcing outcomes, relationships, and identities. You become more comfortable with not knowing. Instead of panicking in uncertainty, you start trusting the process unfolding within you. This trust does not come from belief. It comes from experience. You have seen what happens when you cling, and you have felt the relief of letting go. Losing interest was never about withdrawal from life. It was about withdrawal from illusion. In this stage, you are no longer empty. You are clear. And in that clarity, the foundation for a more authentic existence is being quietly buoyed. Lieutenant, at this final stage, losing interest is no longer confusing or uncomfortable. It has settled into understanding. You no longer ask what is wrong with you because you recognize that nothing is missing. What has disappeared were attachments that no longer matched who you have become. The constant pull toward distraction, validation, and external excitement has loosened its grip, not because you forced it to, but because it no longer feeds you. Life now feels slower, but also more intentional. You move with awareness instead of urgency. Decisions are made from inner alignment rather than pressure or fear. You no longer chase experiences to feel alive. You bring aliveness into whatever you do. This shift is subtle but profound. It is the difference between reacting to life and responding from presence. At this stage, your sense of identity becomes lighter. You no longer cling to labels, roles, or fixed ideas of who you are supposed to be. You allow yourself to evolve without explaining yourself to everyone. There is a quiet freedom in this. You are not hiding, but you are no longer performing. Your energy feels contained, focused, and clean. What once leaked outward through people-pleasing or overthinking is now available to support your inner stability. Relationships reflect this transformation. You stop trying to maintain connection through effort alone. Instead, you allow relationships to exist where there is mutual respect and emotional resonance. Superficial bonds naturally fall away, while deeper connections strengthen without force. You do not fear being alone because solitude has taught you how to be whole. When you choose connection now, it is a choice, not a need. There is also a new relationship with emotion. You feel deeply, but you are no longer consumed by what you feel. Joy is quieter but more real. Sadness passes without becoming identity. Fear arises, but it no longer controls your direction. You have learned to observe emotions as movements within you, not definitions of who you are. This emotional maturity is one of the clearest signs of awakening integration. Purpose at this stage is not loud or dramatic. It does not demand constant action. It feels steady. You are drawn toward what aligns with your values rather than what promises recognition. Whether your life looks simple or complex on the outside no longer matters. What matters is that it feels true on the inside. This inner congruence creates a form of peace that does not depend on circumstances. Perhaps the most important realization of this stage is this: you are no longer trying to escape the world, and you are no longer trying to conquer it. You are participating in it consciously. You engage where it feels meaningful and step back where it does not. This balance allows you to stay open without being overwhelmed. Losing interest was the doorway. Awareness was the path. Alignment is the result. You did not become less alive. You became more real. And this is the quiet mark of a rare soul awakening.